your memory is weak and your concentration is poor. Today's episode presents you with the best natural ways to strengthen memory, regardless of your age. A natural therapeutic course to strengthen memory. We begin by talking about drinks that, if we include them in our daily routine, make a huge difference in strengthening memory and increasing concentration. Their advantage is that we feel them at all times, which means their effect on us will be quick. The first summary we talk about is the herb sage, which is very famous. We in Egypt call it sage or sage, a famous herb, and its price is very cheap. But there are many studies on it that it actually increases concentration and strengthens memory. Among the very powerful herbs to protect the brain from Alzheimer's, studies I worked on said that it improves memory, makes you feel like you are accomplishing more tasks in less time, and helps you. Any information you forgot can be retrieved again quickly. Okay, we will benefit from it, whether through herbs, capsules, or even through its concentrated oil. As for the herbs, they remove any perfume. I want the sage herb, its leaves dried on the screen. Prepare a small spoonful of it as you would prepare tea, put boiling water on it. Soak it for a quarter of an hour, or a third of an hour, and then drink it. As for oils, there are essential oils that contain the extract of sage or this herb. At that time, we use it differently than essential oil. We use the drop on any drink we drink until we have taken our daily dose. As for the capsules, she takes 300 to 350 concentration capsules, which she takes on a daily basis, so you do not take them for more than 2 months. In general, marshmallow is one of the things that I do not continue to do on a daily basis. So if I drink the drink in it very much, it is once a week, and the oil recipe is also twice a week. Capsules with the maximum concentration that we said, if daily, will be for a period of 2 months. This means that it is an herb. Whenever you find yourself feeling stressed, unfocused, and living better, you drink a drink from it, but not on a daily basis. The idea about sage is that it prevents the breakdown of a very important neurotransmitter in the brain, its name, choline. All choline has increased composition. Each of us has a very important effect in strengthening memory, mental performance, and concentration. There is also an enzyme that breaks it down. It inhibits the action of the enzyme, thus preventing the breakdown of choline. It is scientifically prohibited. It is prohibited for diabetics and epilepsy patients. It is prohibited in cases of pregnancy and breastfeeding. It has a sweet effect. In part, anxiety, depression, and stress improve mood and help you fall asleep easily. Any form of writing you take before bed helps you right now, and at the same time as you correct yourself in your brain. It is true, and by the way, I want to tell you that anxiety, stress, or lack of sleep are very important reasons. A person whose memory is weak and forgets quickly, so any herb that will stimulate my memory and work for me on anxiety, stress, and sleep is a really excellent herb. And using it in this way is a reason for lack of memory and lack of concentration. The second herb we are talking about is the smooth herb. The smooth herb, or its name is stimulant, or lemon bark. The herb has very many advantages. The first thing is that it works for me on short memory. It works for me on long memory at the same time. This means that it helps you to recall the events that happened and helps you at the same time to recall the events that happened. The second thing is that it also works on the part of insomnia, stress, and depression. Things that, if present in any person, will be found to be forgotten all the time and not focused on the length of memory. They are starting to be affected. In fact, its main uses are that it helps sleep. The second use for it is that it strengthens memory and increases concentration. It is very important in part because it protects against Alzheimer's and protects against something in the composition, or that my concentration and ability decrease with age. And all of this is thanks to a substance found in it called lion's tide. This also serves two needs. For me, the part of sleep is that it increases the secretion of depression. And this is a substance secreted in the body that helps sleep, and at the same time it is working, it increases. I also have choline, which increases my memory and increases my concentration. We use it how we use it in the form of herbs, which we prepare just as we prepare tea, and they are sold at any herbalist. These are all the herbs I mentioned, by the way, that are available and well known in any perfume you are. I mean, you can deal with them if I use them in the form of a drink. By taking them before bed, they control my sleep quality, make me wake up from sleep, and reduce anxiety, stress, and insomnia. If I use it in the form of pills, the maximum concentration is 500, whether herbs or pills. If I use it daily, the maximum is 6 months. By the way, this herb is very powerful in the part that it makes you sleep. To the point that there are people who, for example, are on a sleeping medication that takes it, or someone else sleeps. They start to stop and depend on this herb, and its effect remains very excellent, meaning you get rid of the addiction to sleeping pills. But of course, if you take it in a form, for example, twice or 3 per week, not on an intermittent daily basis that lasts for much longer periods, but daily at most for 6 months. It is prohibited for people who take depression medications. It is prohibited in the case of pregnancy and breastfeeding, and it is prohibited for thyroid patients. We will introduce the 2 most powerful pills we have from nature, which strengthen memory, increase concentration, and also protect against Alzheimer's disease. It is considered one of the most powerful natural stimulants for the brain, or in our opinion, it is the jinn herb. In the end, I tell him about Jabbar mix to strengthen memory. For example, the largest pharmaceutical companies rely on it. But I am telling you that the oil does it at a very low cost. Whether with natural things, or whether ready-made capsules from the pharmacy for a small price. We continue our talk about the pound, or the pound plant. And this is one of the most powerful plants known to increase concentration and strengthen memory. But its idea is a little different in that its idea is that it increases blood circulation. I have the nature of the body that after 40, the blood circulation in the body begins to decrease in blood circulation activity. One of the things that makes a great difference in this age stage is that you feel that your mental ability, or your concentration as it is, depends primarily on something called flavonoids, and something called TAB, which is the concentration that is taken from them from 120 and 40. This scientific concentration controls the memory and concentration part. But there is never mind that. You start with lower concentrations, such as 20, 40, 80, and 120, and each concentration takes its time. Meaning it takes, for example, 2 or 3 months gradually until you reach the maximum concentration, which is 240. Do not start at a long time. 40 to 180 high concentrations, you prepare the body for entering an herb such as zinc. Of course, this is capsules for you, but if we are talking about the natural thing, then the natural thing is very excellent. It is sold in the form of leaves. What interests us about it is the extract of its leaf. You always find it in perfumes in the form of dried leaves. You take it, you can break it very much, or grind it in any way you like. I want it and take a small connection from it, and it does it as it does something that remains a strong memory stimulant and provides energy. But its problem is that it does not work with many things, meaning it conflicts with diuretic medications with garlic extract. It is not suitable for diabetics, thyroid patients, epilepsy patients, convulsions patients, or people who always have high blood pressure. Not sure, but it is completely safe. The last summary with us is ginseng. Ginseng also has the idea that it stimulates blood circulation, which connects me to the brain, and is one of the things that has values that make them form nerves and protect the nerves. one of the things that treat nerve inflammation and protect the nerves from damage and inflammation. Makes you remember that we said. For example, the things that people who have anxiety and tension affect in the memory and concentration parts, even if people do not have strong mental acuity. I would say 2 pills. People who have problems with the nerves with concentration and memory are affected by their dilution. Partial ginseng. The best form of ginseng is Korean red ginseng. And by the way, it is sold in companies that make it in the form of packets. I mean, before that, I used to buy a box containing about 18, enough for 18 days. Its price was approximately £160. Ginseng is not the cheapest thing, but it is the most powerful thing in the world. Especially Korean red ginseng, because there are many types of ginseng. For me, if it comes in a form, it means the company makes it, so you can drink a buck a day, or you can bring it from the herbalist. The herbalist has a powder, so it is said, and the brown one is ginseng. You take exactly 2 chromium from it, meaning less than half a teaspoon, or you take the standard suspension and take 2 grams from it. I drink the thing. How do I get the powdered ginseng? With a spoonful of honey and mix them together and put warm water on them. That is not boiled. And I tell them it is good. And after that, I tell their people to prepare something like this with ginseng. We said the natural methods. If you take it in capsules, it will be at a concentration of 400 to 1000. And of course, if you use the capsules that contain its concentration on a daily basis, it will be a maximum of 3 to 6 months. But of course, the natural methods are, if you also take it on a daily basis from 3 to 6 months. But if you take it, for example, 2 or 3 times a week, this makes you continue taking it for much longer periods than 3 months or 6 months. It is prohibited for diabetics, depression patients, high blood pressure patients, and cancer patients. Okay, we will talk about cannabis. I said too much. For example, we can combine the south with ginseng enriched with nuts, which is very powerful for memory and concentration, but is not useful in high concentrations. I mean, it is useful to get a concentration of 400,000. 600 and 500 of ginseng, and combine it with a concentration of 580 or 240 of zinc. Their hearts are exposed to high concentrations together because the 2 increase blood circulation and increase blood fluidity. But if you look at the really nice concentrations of them, they both work very well together, and you get a wonderful benefit from them. This is one of the biggest setbacks that you find in pills or imported things that are sold on the basis that they stimulate memory, protect against Alzheimer's, and strengthen concentration. And in this case, you will find at a maximum that they put the body at a concentration of 60. And the maximum you will find is that it is written that you are ginseng at a concentration of 100, and not more than that. I mean, this is your broken cap. You can do it if you use these pills with these pills separately. It means you get the genome with a concentration, for example, from 40 to 60. And you get the ginseng with a concentration, for example, 100, and combine them together, or take them on the same day. But after breakfast, and this after lunch, of course it will be cheaper. Far too much to go buy imported supplements in which the concentrations are. I mean, if you get it from a local brand, for example, you will find that the cost will be very simple for you. Or you will only drink pound tea and something ginseng, not on the same day. So, for example, you will make it the next day. For the second thing, as we said. But of course, the natural extracts will have a lower composition. Much of what is in the concentrated capsules, and then you have combined them, but in small concentrations. And at the same time, this is in them and in them, so you get the benefit without getting any conflict or side effects. And this is one of the best sensors that you can use. If you are always focused on your work, depending on your concentration, Studying all the time, all of these things, you started after 40, I feel that you are exploding. You want things that will always keep you in something, and your mind is healthy and you remember. Then this gain in this way is what is scientifically beneficial. You are using it very safely. I hope the video was useful to you or provided any new information for you. Subscribe to the video channel so that we can reach the largest number of people who can benefit.